This is Local 3 News Today.
Coming up, as Brainerd High School students return to class, the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office heads up the investigation into Wednesday's false active shooter call. Plus, some of the temporary restrictions to combat violence on Station Street are lifting tonight. We'll have details just ahead. Good, finally, Friday morning. Hope your day is off to a wonderful start. Glad to have you waking up with us. I'm Lori Mitchell. Paul Shaheen is on a special assignment again today. We want to start by getting you caught up on what's going on outside. And Clay, we've been spoiled the last couple of days. It's been absolutely gorgeous out there.
Yeah, Lori, we've had some great weather pretty much all week long, but that is going to change to a degree today. Now, it's still going to be comfortable temperature-wise. We'll top out in the 70s. But we'll have some rain chances arriving later on this afternoon. So here's a look at your temperatures. Again, cooler to the east, warmer to the west, and we're kind of somewhere in the middle. 56 here in Chattanooga, which is fairly comfortable. I just stepped outside. It's a really nice start. Really no need for a jacket this morning, unless you maybe live off to the east. Then it's a little bit chilly. In Blue Ridge and Murphy, temperatures in the mid-40s, 49 in Cleveland, a little bit warmer in Chattanooga, and 51 in Altamont with light winds. But again, by this afternoon, we'll have the cloud cover, which will keep us comfortable temperature wise. So this time of year, our average high 78, 79 degrees. We're going to be about 10 degrees below that, topping out in the upper 60s into Cleveland, lower 70s into Athens and Dayton, and 70 degrees in Dalton. So as we take a look at what's going on this morning, again, the cloud cover streaming in from the west. So not a whole lot of sunshine coming your way on this Friday, but it doesn't look like we're going to have any rain until a little bit later on. So as we take a broad look at your radar, again, we're dry here in the Tennessee Valley for now, but the showers that are moving across portions of Arkansas and West Tennessee eventually going to move into our areas. So I'm thinking, other than a few sprinkles after about 10 a.m., the best chance of rain coming in after about 3. So as we take a look at your coffee cast, again, as you're sitting on the porch, drinking that hot cup of joe, temperature's going to be in the 50s, a little bit on the cool side. Sunrise today, 6:46, but no rain for your morning commute. Certainly good news, but that changes going into your afternoon. So we'll talk more about those rain chances coming up here in just a little bit. But for now, back over to you, Lori.
Clay, thanks. Now to our top stories this morning. A Silverdale inmate has pleaded guilty to jumping into a jail van and running over a corrections officer in March of last year. Michael Lance Irvin entered the plea in criminal court to 3 counts of aggravated assault. Prosecutors said the officer Irvin hit suffered a broken leg, and he nearly hit 2 others while trying to escape. Sentencing is set for July 7th. Irvin will be held at Silverdale until then. Brainerd High School students returned to the classroom yesterday, just 1 day after the mass shooting hoax that forced them to leave campus. Brainerd was one of more than a dozen schools across Tennessee that received a fake active shooter call on Wednesday. Caritza Jones, District 5 school board representative, says extra social workers and counselors are available for staff members and students at Brainerd. She says the experience was difficult as she helped parents and children reunite. The students returned to school yesterday, but Jones was concerned that some might feel triggered by coming back so soon. She says she also understands it's important for them to be at school and safe with those who care for them.
No one can reverse what the children and faculty and staff were feeling in Brainerd High School, unsure of their safety. You can't take that back.
Jones is grateful that everyone is safe, but it was a terrifying feeling not knowing what was going on. She hopes they find who is responsible. Chattanooga police say the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office is leading the investigation of the hoax call that involved Brainerd High School. During Chattanooga Police's news conference yesterday, Assistant Chief Jerry Sutton said an officer working as an SRO was at the school when the call came in. A second officer arrived in a little over 2 minutes. Chief Celeste Murphy says she is not worried about such an incident becoming a trend because her team is ready for anything.
This department is prepared for it. The agencies that we partner with, they're prepared for it. But I will say it takes someone who, I don't know what sickness it is, that would do something like that. But, I hope that, that person gets help.
And Chief Murphy said she appreciates all of the agencies that responded and ensured everyone's safety on Wednesday. The hoax at the school spurred a variety of reactions online, as you can imagine. UTC professor Jessica Freeman says inaccurate social media posts could be harmful if users don't work to verify information.
It starts with making responsible decisions. And sometimes it means that we need to stop, to take a breath, and then verify where that information came from before we share it.
Dr. Freeman says online users should know where to turn for credible information. The nightlife is set to resume on Station Street. Mayor Tim Kelly has relaxed most of the restrictions for businesses in the area. City leaders said all businesses can remain open until 3 o'clock in the morning starting tonight, but open alcohol containers won't be allowed for the time being. The announcement was made in conjunction with a public safety plan. That plan involves almost all businesses on the street funding 9 off-duty police officers to patrol on weekends. City leaders said only the blue lights did not sign on. The plan will also shut down the street to car traffic. All of this is meant to address violence on the street that city leaders say has become a growing concern.
Let me be clear. If you are just here to have a good time, you're in the right place. But if you start trouble, you will face consequences.
The Blue Light owner, Brian Joyce, said the bar was not going to sign on because he thought other businesses also did not agree to the plan. The street's public safety plan will remain in effect for 30 days while City Council works on a permanent ordinance. Your time is 5:05, and coming up on Local 3 News today, the autopsy report of Tyree Nichols has been released following his death at the hands of Memphis police in January. More details after the break. But first, as we go to traffic outside, wow, we are giving you a look all around the area this morning, and we are happy to say that things are looking pretty good. There was an accident earlier, but that has cleared. So that was on US 64 eastbound near the 64 bypass. That was causing a mess earlier this morning, but everything is good there. You can see here the Georgia state line looks good. I-24 at US 27, 75 at US 64, and 75 at Ringgold Road, all looking good this morning. Let's keep it that way, and let's get into a wonderful, finally, Friday morning. We'll be back.
Well, good morning and happy Friday to Tennessee Valley. It is now 5:08 and temperatures are comfortable on this Friday morning. 56 here in Chattanooga, same for Nashville. A little bit cooler off to the north and east, while it's much warmer to the south. So it's going to be another comfortable day weather-wise here. And we've been below average every single day this month. I know we're only 5 days in, but it's been a cool start to May. Now that is going to eventually change. We'll have some 80s returning to the forecast by the end of the weekend, but this morning still feels pretty good out there. 50 in Athens, 44 in Murphy, 50 in Dayton, and 50 in Altamont. So a comfortable start. It feels really nice if you're stepping out the door. Forecast today, 70 degrees, which is about 10 degrees below normal, or old record back in 2012 when it was 92 degrees here in Chattanooga. Not going to be the case today. It's been a while since we've had the 90s, and it doesn't look like we're going to have any, at least in the near future. And as for your sneeze index, in the moderate to high category, again, tree pollen still going to pose an issue. issue, coming down a little bit into your weekend and then bumping back up into your Monday and Tuesday. So before too long, we're really going to get into the thick of grass pollen season. So that's something to look forward to. As we take a look at your radar, not a whole lot going on this morning. Again, it's going to be a dry start, but later this afternoon, the batch of rain that's moving across portions of West Tennessee and Arkansas eventually going to give us some rain chances here across the Tennessee Valley. So again, dry for the first part of the day. Around lunchtime, slim chance of a shower, but your better chance going to become a little more prevalent after about 3 p.m. continuing into the evening with temperatures climbing into the 60s. So we'll talk more about today's rain chances plus your weekend coming up through full forecast in just a couple of minutes. But for now, over to you, Lori.
Clay, thank you. The autopsy of Tyre Nichols has revealed that he died of blunt force injuries to the head. The 29-year-old died on January 10th, 3 days after he was pulled over in Memphis for alleged reckless driving. He was repeatedly punched and kicked in the face and hit with pepper spray and a stun gun. Yesterday's report ruled that the death was a homicide, and Nichols' family was briefed on the autopsy results on Wednesday, according to the family's attorneys. 7 Memphis police officers were fired in the wake of Nichols' death, which sparked national uproar and harshened the spotlight on police brutality. A jury has found 4 members of the far-right group, the Proud Boys, guilty of seditious conspiracy. Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio is one of the defendants. This is the 3rd time prosecutors have secured convictions for that charge against those who breached the U.S. Capitol. Attorney General Merrick Garland pointed out that over the past 2 years, they have secured more than 600 convictions for criminal conduct on January 6th. Yesterday, a New York judge heard arguments about a protective order in Donald Trump's criminal case. It is the first hearing since the former president pleaded not guilty last month to falsifying business records with the intent to conceal a hush money payment ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Yesterday, his attorneys argued that as a 2024 presidential candidate, Trump should have the ability to talk about the charges while campaigning. They also plan to ask the court to move the case to federal court. The judge told both sides to pick a trial date in early 2024. It is 5:11, and coming up on Local 3 News today, survivors of Monday's deadly highway dust storm incident in Illinois speak out while recovering their vehicles.
Well, good morning, happy Friday, and happy Cinco de Mayo. It is the 5th day of May, and taking a look at your weather headlines on this Friday morning. Scattered showers arrived today, so after a dry and really gorgeous week, things are changing today. And then going into your weekend, things are trending much drier. So the latest model runs still picking up on the chance of a few showers, but overall Saturday looking much drier, and same for your Sunday. And then we're going to go back to the 80s. So after a relatively cool start to May, back to the mid 80s moving into the end of the weekend and next week. But it is a comfortable morning here across the Tennessee Valley. 56 in Chattanooga, 50 in Dayton, a little bit cooler to the east. Murphy and Blue Ridge both waking up to the 40s, but overall a very comfortable start to your Friday. Friday. And later today, we're going to top out anywhere from the upper 60s to lower 70s. Again, if you have more rain, you'll be a little bit cooler. Less rain, temperatures will warm a bit, and we'll have south winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So the cloud cover continuing to stream in from the west this morning. Not a whole lot of rain as we switch over to your radar. Again, high pressure is sliding to the east, so that's going to help this disturbance move in our direction. Now, most of the rain is well out to our west across portions of Mississippi, Arkansas, and West Tennessee. This eventually moves in our direction, but it looks like it's going to hold off for quite some time. But again, here's a look at your chance for rain over the next 7 days. So it's been a dry week so far. Things are a little more active moving into the middle of next week. But notice how those rain chances have kind of come down a little bit for your Saturday and Sunday. Initially, the model's picking up on quite a bit of rain. That's starting to trend downward. So if you have any outdoor plans for your weekend, certainly looking a little bit better. But for today, again, the further north you go into Cleveland, Athens, Dayton, the activity going to be a little more spotty today when you have a better chance of some scattered showers across northeast Alabama and northwest Georgia and really Chattanooga southbound. And that kind of shows up well on our futurecast. So as we go through the mid-morning, I'm thinking maybe a few sprinkles. Better chance of rain coming in after about 2-3 o'clock this afternoon. You can see a pretty good coverage across North Georgia, and that starts to bump into Chattanooga. But notice the further north you go, the further north you remove from Chattanooga, less chances of rain, which will allow those temperatures to rise into the 70s. Rain will continue for North Georgia, northeast Alabama throughout at least the evening hours, gradually tapering off overnight. So with this first batch of rain, a quarter inch rain certainly possible. It's not going to be a washout. And again, notice the further north you go, lesser amounts into places like Athens, Dayton, Pikeville. Just not going to be a whole lot of moisture surging to the north, and really no severe threat. Could we have a rumble of thunder across northeast Alabama, North Georgia? Yes. Pretty unlikely, I'm thinking. And of course, the severe threat going to be overall low and confined to the Gulf Coast region for your Friday. And then as we take a look at your weekend, again, really not a whole lot going on Saturday, but for your Sunday, it does look like during the afternoon we're going to have just enough daytime heating to produce almost like a pop-up shower or storm, very typical of what you would expect during the summertime, and that'll continue into your Monday as well. So it looks like a better chance of rain going to come into early next week. And check out those temperatures. If you were kind of tired of the cool, comfortable weather, it is going to be much warmer as we move into Saturday and Sunday, and then eventually into next week. So again, today is Cinco de Mayo. Get out there and enjoy it. Highs of 70, a little bit of rain this afternoon, and then Saturday mainly dry. But notice how those temperatures start to rise moving into next week. Rain Monday into Tuesday, and then we dry out by the middle of next week. Lori?